So yeah, in terms of who inspires me, I would have to lean on a few different people. First and foremost will be my mom, as I mentioned before. I lost my mom when I was 10 years old to breast cancer, and she was only 33 at the time. But what she instilled in me and my five siblings, mind you, like my dad, every day I talk to him like I was like, I don't know how you do it. I got one son, and for him to be able to continue that on, raising six children by himself is amazing. So starting with my mother, especially on the education basis, I actually found I can't remember what year it was. I was in college at the time, but I found a certificate one day and realized that my mother had actually gotten some type of certification, maybe an associate's in nursing literally 2 months before I was born. My birthday is May 24th. On March 24th, this was signed, and I was like, this is crazy. So just that type of mentality to continue to push forward and to create, right,
Yeah.
is what really settled with me in terms of her. Outside of that, all of her other teachings and of course the importance of education. But then of course my father, I get my work ethic from him. I mean, for him to just continue day in, day out, doing what he did. My father worked in a hospital for many years, and doing that, going out every single day, being able to take care of your children, and also do for other people as well in our family. That just it always stuck with me. And then at this point, thinking about even within my own home right now, my wife, of course, whom I met in my first year teaching. The first school I worked at in DC is where I met my wife. I taught in room 300 and she was down in room 308. And, you know, we met and the rest is history. So we've been married now 7 years and she just keeps me on my toes. And she's that person who like really reins me in terms of not just the crazy creative aspect, because I'm that type of
Yeah.
person where I actually have to have a space. And I joke about this all the time where I have to actually have a space where I can be me, if that makes sense, in
Yeah.
terms of like the messiness. And she just knows not to really go in that space because she gets anxiety and she's like, you need to do something. So but yeah, my wife Andrea, she definitely continues to push me forward, and she actually gave me a few ideas for some of the recent things that just came out with melanated mathematics, and I'll share those as well. But then last but certainly not least will be my son. uh, when my son, before he even came into the world, he changed me for the better, and just really improved my outlook on life. And with that, kind of leading, even going back into my journey as a professional. Right now, I still work in education full time, but I actually work in ed tech, education technology. So I get to work remotely. And people ask me, well, what made you do that? What made you make that shift? And I always tell them, my wife told me that my son was coming. That's it. Like that was it. I was the assistant principal at an elementary school in DC at the time, and once I found out that she was pregnant, I said, okay, I'm going to work remotely. It was like I made that decision immediately. It was like a switch.
Right.
And then once I was able to actually make that happen and execute on it, I don't know if that my wife would give me credit, but she actually now works remotely as well. She's still teaching. She's a special education teacher. So shout outs to all the teachers, especially those in special education. And yes, so those people really kind of sculpted me into you know what it is that I am now, and really drive a lot of purpose behind what it is that I do and why.